Space is vast. Our minds can barely grasp it, yet there's a world even bigger than space, the world of ideas. In this world, we find thought experiments. These aren't done in labs, they're done in our minds. One such experiment is the brain in a vat. Imagine a brain floating in a vat. It's hooked up to a supercomputer. This computer feeds the brain information. The brain sees, hears, feels a whole reality, but it's all fake. This might sound like science fiction, but it's a serious philosophical idea. It makes us question everything. Is what we experience real, or are we just brains in vats, tricked by a computer? This thought experiment isn't about proving we're in a simulation. It's about the nature of reality and what we can truly know. It's about the limits of our senses and the power of doubt. The brain in a vat might sound familiar. It's the plot of the movie The Matrix. But this idea is much older than any Hollywood film. It goes back centuries to philosophers like René Descartes. Descartes worried about an evil demon tricking his senses. Could everything he experienced be an illusion? This demon was like a more powerful version of the computer in our thought experiment. Later, philosophers like Gilbert Harman developed the brain in a vat scenario more fully. They used it to explore skepticism, the idea that we can't be certain about anything. The brain in a vat forces us to confront a scary possibility. Our senses might be deceiving us. This idea has fueled philosophical debate for generations. Picture this. A scientist carefully removes a brain from a body. The brain is placed in a special container, a vat filled with life-sustaining fluid. Wires connect the brain to a supercomputer, a marvel of technology. This computer is no ordinary machine. It's capable of generating a complete sensory reality. It sends signals to the brain, creating the illusion of sight, sound, touch, taste, and smell. The brain, believing it's still in a body, interacts with this simulated world. It experiences the warmth of the sun, the taste of chocolate, the joy of a hug, but it's all an elaborate illusion, a digital fabrication. This scenario, while unsettling, raises profound questions. If the brain can't tell the difference between the simulation and reality, is there a real difference? What does it mean to experience something if it's all just signals in the brain? Section 4, Skepticism and Reality. What can we truly know? The brain in a vat isn't about literal brains in jars, it's about epistemology, the study of knowledge. It asks, how do we know what's real? Can we trust our senses, or are they easily fooled? Think about optical illusions. They trick our brains into seeing things that aren't really there. Now imagine a more powerful illusion, one that encompasses all our senses. That's the brain in a vat scenario. This thought experiment pushes skepticism to its limit. Skeptics question the reliability of knowledge. They argue that we can't be certain about anything, not even our own existence. The brain in a vat takes this doubt further. It suggests that our reality itself might be an illusion. This can be unsettling, but it also encourages critical thinking about the nature of perception and the limits of our understanding. Section 5, Virtual Worlds and Real Implications, Closing the Gap. The brain in a vat might seem like a purely philosophical idea, but it has real-world implications, especially in the age of virtual reality. VR technology is becoming more sophisticated, blurring the lines between the digital and the real. Imagine VR experiences so immersive, so convincing, that they become indistinguishable from reality. We could find ourselves questioning our own experiences. Is this world real, or am I just plugged into a simulation? This might sound like science fiction, but it's a question we might have to grapple with in the future. As technology advances, the brain in a vat thought experiment becomes less abstract and more relevant to our lives. The ethical and philosophical implications of such technology are profound. What happens when we can no longer trust our own senses? What does it mean to be human in a world where reality itself is malleable? Section 6. Why this matters: the enduring power of doubt. The brain in a vat is a thought experiment that stays with you. It's unsettling because it challenges our most basic assumptions about the world, but its power lies in its ability to make us think critically. This thought experiment isn't about providing answers, it's about asking the right questions. It forces us to confront the limits of our knowledge and the possibility that our perception of reality might be flawed. In a world saturated with information, it's easy to accept what we see and hear. The brain in a vat reminds us to be skeptical, to question our assumptions, and to never stop seeking the truth. So the next time you look around, take a moment to appreciate the wonder and the mystery of it all. Is this real, or is it just a figment of our imagination? The answer might be less important than the questions we ask along the way.